A former Bullhead City Police sergeant, closely connected to the current chief Robert Treves, was convicted of sexual assault and was sentenced to 14 years in prison. On October 3rd, 2014, Hogue picked up the victim, drove her down a dirt lot, and brutally raped her. A 38-year-old Jesse Samuel Hogue was sentenced after being found guilty of 2 counts of sexual assault. The 11-year veteran officer took a student from Mojave Community College, where he was teaching a class, to a Laughlin bar in October and assaulted her. Jesse Hogue was arrested an entire month later for trying to sexually assault another woman in a vehicle outside a Laughlin bar, but no charges were filed in that case. Hogue's attorney asked for a shorter sentence based on his client's police and military service, but the judge denied the request, giving him the maximum sentence allowed under law. 1 month prior to his rape, Jesse Hogue attended a Bullhead City City Council meeting, claiming that he took an oath to protect the community. At that time, he was the president of the Fraternal Order of the Police Officers Association. Isn't it interesting that the Bullhead City Police Department is filled with officers who have no integrity, no morals, and no values, but portray themselves as if they do? And isn't it interesting that taxpayers are actually paying for liars, thieves, and rapists as police officers in Bullhead City, Arizona? These are the people who are claiming to uphold the law.
Good morning, Honorable Mayor, Council, Executive Staff, Chief. Jesse Hogue, the President of the Fraternal Order of Police Officers Association, Bullhead City, and I'm speaking on behalf of our membership, some that are seated behind me, so I'd like the extra time, please. First off, I want to put on the record I support our ability as citizens to be able to come up here and talk, the right to be heard, the right to vote and live our lives the way we want to live them. It doesn't happen in other areas. As a police officer and as a president of the FOPOA, I know I need to separate those two at certain times, or I need to separate those two careers as best I can. It's kind of hard to do that at times such as these when we are threatened with a proposition that would tear this city apart and endanger the public. As a veteran and as a police officer, I took an oath to protect our citizens. As a veteran and as a police officer, I took an oath to protect our citizens. As a veteran and as a police officer, I took an oath to protect our citizens.
A New Mexico police officer stripped of his badge and put behind bars is now facing a federal lawsuit for what he's accused of doing to a DWI suspect when he was supposed to be taking her to jail.
A 34-year-old Baltimore police officer charged with raping a 16-year-old girl is being held without bond this morning.
The I-team has learned that the Belmont police officer arrested for rape last week had an arrest for domestic violence several years ago before he became an officer.
And that's raising questions whether he should have been hired at the Belmont PD in the first place.
Gary Baker, who served with the Sacramento Police Department for more than 20 years, would not comment today when we asked him about the charges he faces in court.
Evans was booked into the Oklahoma County Jail Friday on charges of rape and forcible sodomy.
Back in 2019, this is when he was first charged and first appeared in court. This is former officer William Rodriguez.
We now know David Carrick used his power to abuse at least 12 women, subjecting them to appalling acts of violence, calling one his slave. The former soldier used his belt to beat his victims.
As a veteran and as a police officer, I took an oath to protect our citizens. That oath doesn't clock out at the end of the day, and I can't recall ever giving that oath up. That oath doesn't clock out at the end of the day, and I can't recall ever giving that oath up. It is my duty to expose the truth about this proposition. There's one contract for prosperity that I'm sworn to support, the only one I can think of, and that's the U.S. Constitution.
It is an absolute honor to be here today to speak to you on such a momentous occasion.
Anyone selling anything else reminds me of another term, false advertising, also known as misrepresentation. misleading, and manipulation.
The truth is, there's an ideology in this country that denies truth and will silence viewpoints that it disagrees with. Freedom of speech is one of the foundational principles that this country was built on, and it's one of those freedoms that the rest of the world does not enjoy. It is not the speech that we agree with that needs protecting. It's the speech that we disagree with that needs protecting at all costs.
That's just not going to work in Bullhead City. If this measure passes, your public safety will lose funding. There's no question about that. Your public safety will lose funding.
Right.
There's no question about that. Your public safety will lose funding. I'm proud of all the work our department does to keep this community safe. If you want this community to stay safe and keep our quality of life high, you need to join us in opposing this horrible ballot proposition. Great turnout from our officers, even though we're working right now. The fight starts today for my officers, for the community. As a veteran and as a police officer, I took an oath to protect our citizens. That oath doesn't clock out at the end of the day, and I can't recall ever giving that oath up.
Can you believe that this rapist was a veteran and the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 50 in Bullhead City, Arizona, whose main function is helping children and their Visit with Santa program?